Every day, regular people are turning simple online business ideas into success stories. And in 2025, AI and automation have made it easier than ever to get started, transforming what used to cost thousands and take months to figure out into something that anyone can build, even if you're completely new to this. But I get it, starting your own online business feels downright intimidating. There's an absurd amount of tutorials out there. Everyone's claiming to have the secret formula, the secret sauce, and most of them are honestly teaching outdated methods when they could easily be replaced with new technology that could help you build and scale 10 times faster. And I know this because I've been there. I went from a broke college kid with literally nothing to building multiple successful online businesses that have completely changed my life, given me the freedom to travel the world whenever I want, help my family, buy property. This is my second LA property that I just closed on 5 days ago. But yeah, basically it's given me the freedom to live good. In this video, I'll show you how to set up a professional store in minutes using AI, find products that people actually want to buy, how to market them for maximum reach, and build systems that will help you scale profitably. There's going to be zero BS, no outdated strategies, just what's actually working right now. So let's get into it. Now, if you're new to all of this and you're wondering what is e-commerce entirely, here's a very easy way to think about it. E-commerce is just any business where you buy and sell products online. It could mean running your own store on Shopify. It could be selling on marketplaces like Amazon or eBay, or even dropshipping. But here's why 2025 is such a game-changing year for e-commerce. AI tools have completely transformed how we create stores, find products, market them, and even handle customer service. Because what used to take weeks now takes hours, and what used to cost thousands now costs hundreds. So the barrier to entry has never in history been lower. But here's what most people don't really realize. Now, while there are more people than ever starting online businesses, the ones who actually succeed are doing things that are completely different. They're not just using outdated strategies or copying what everyone else is doing. You can get your store up and running in just a few days and start seeing your first sales within weeks, and that's if you do it right. And that's exactly what I plan to show you. But before we can get into any of that, let me show you one crucial step that most people get wrong, and that's finding profitable products that actually will sell. But here's the thing, most people, what they do is they just jump straight into building their store or running ads without the right product. So in essence, you're really just setting yourself up for failure. So I learned this because I did this. I learned the hard way, and that's after losing so much money and time on products that looked really good, but the thing is they just never sold. Now, there's actually a few different ways that you can go about getting products to sell online. You could create your own products, you can work directly with manufacturers, or you can buy wholesale. But all of these options, the thing is they need a lot of money up front to start. And what you're doing is you're basically guessing and checking if people will actually want to buy your product and what you're planning to sell. Instead, what I'm going to show you is a much smarter way to start. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by using platforms that already have millions of products ready to go, so that you can test different products without risking a ton of money. This way, you can actually prove that people want to buy your product or something before you go all in. So after testing hundreds and hundreds of products myself and seeing what works and what doesn't work, I figured out exactly what makes the difference between products that actually crush it and ones that end up just falling flat. One, it solves a problem or taps into a passion, which naturally ends up creating a strong community backing. Two, it has a profit margin of at least 30%, meaning that you can sell it for more than you are paying your supplier. Three, it's in high demand but has somewhat low competition. It's lightweight and easy to ship, and most importantly, it's something that you can easily create content and marketing angles around. This is going to be huge because it means that you can actually show off the product in ways that will make people want to buy the product. There are two methods that I've been using to find these products, and don't worry, I'm only going to be covering methods that are free, no paid services. But the second one that I'll be talking about shortly could potentially fizzle out, and I'll explain why in just a few moments. For the first method, this is something that I like to call feed conditioning. And this has to do with training the algorithm on platforms like Instagram or Facebook to show you products that are already selling that are already doing well and that people want to buy. All right, so here is how it works. First thing you're gonna do is just go on to your Instagram profile. We're gonna go to the Explorer. I actually have another account that I use for this. And what we're doing here is we're trying to look for content that is involving a product that might be appealing to us or appealing to someone that might want to buy the product. So let's just see if I can find something. Also, I want you to keep in mind that your Instagram feed and the Explorer is going to cater to what you're interested in. So mine's going to be a lot of surfing, a lot of food, probably because that's what I'm interested in. So what you can do is create another account and just start to only engage with specific products and pages that post products so that you start to see and condition your feed so that you see more and more ads or people that are creating content of products. So let's just try and find an example here. So what we're looking for here are either sponsored posts that are showcasing a product, or we're also looking for accounts or companies that are posting organic content of their products. So right here is an example of one. Okay, so this is clearly an ad of a product, obviously jewelry. So what we want to do is we want to engage with this type of content as much as possible. And what's going to happen is that Facebook, Instagram, Meta, whatever, they're going to see us as quote unquote an engaged shopper, someone that might actually want to buy. So they're going to start to show us more and more ads. So this is exactly what we want. So what I'll do here is I'll shop now, engage with it as much as possible. You can even add to cart, put your email in. And as you do that, what you're going to notice, I'll guarantee you're going to start seeing more and more ads, which is great, right? So then I'll go here. I could even scroll. Let's see if we start to see more product-based photos or product-based post. And that's exactly how you know you're doing it right. So let's just go back, refresh, and start to see if this updates with more products, maybe some sponsored posts. So let's see. All right, so here, because I engage with jewelry, Facebook Meta sees me as someone that might like jewelry, so I'm going to see another sponsored ad. So what we're doing here is we're trying to condition this feed so that we see more and more product-based content so that maybe we can find something that would be a useful product for us to potentially tap into and actually sell for ourselves. So the second method is using TikTok. Now, what you can do is you can search and type in things like TikTok made me buy it, TikTok shop, TikTok products. And what we're looking for are videos that are getting views, but specifically that are showcasing a product, similarly to how we were doing with the Instagram strategy. And if we see an account that is posting a lot of videos of the product, well, obviously that's generally going to mean that it's working for them, which is the indication that it could be a good product to pursue. But before I continue, there's a catch, or like a tentative catch. At the current date of filming this video, we're about, I think, 10 to 15 days past Trump's allowance of TikTok. There was like a day of it being banned, but with Trump, obviously now in office, these bans, it could be considered again. So I don't know how much we want to rely on a platform like this. I think it's probably better to just get used to using Instagram. So while this method, it can still work while we still have it, I recommend using it more of as a backup and not like the primary strategy. As I mentioned, just focus more on Instagram and using that feed conditioning method. All right, now that you've got your product strategy dialed in, let's go over something that's going to be the backbone of your entire business, and that is your store name. Now, it might seem like a small little detail, but trust me, this is a decision that can either set you up for massive scaling or box you into a complete corner. You see, your name is your brand's foundation. It's what customers will remember. It's what customers will share, while at the same time giving you the business room to expand. So let me show you exactly how to choose a name that will set you up for success from day one. Now, you're probably going to be tempted to name your store something that perfectly fits your niche. If you're selling tech gadgets, something like that, you're going to name your store Tech Gadgets Co. And if you're selling pet products and you want to name it Pet Lover Deals 101, for pet supplies, whatever. But here's the problem. What happens if your product flops or you want to expand into other categories? Then you're stuck with a name and branding that doesn't fit anymore. Now, when I was starting, this was what caused me to have to make an entirely new store for each product, which ended up taking me so much time. Yeah, not worth it. Instead, what you want to do is you want to think about creating a name that's broad enough to grow with your store, but it still feels unique, very memorable, like an actual legitimate brand. And this is exactly what the major retailers like Amazon and Walmart do. They've chose very versatile names that aren't tied to any specific product. For example, Amazon, they started with books, but now they basically sell everything under the sun. Walmart's name, it works just as well with selling groceries as it does with electronics or clothing, whatever the hell they sell. Now, here are some quick tips for a solid brand name. 1, avoid specifics. So stay away from names that are tied to one product or niche. Instead, try to think about something that's short, catchy, brandable. 2, think big picture. So imagine where your store might be in a year, 5 years, 10 years. Will that name still work if you plan to pivot or add new products down the line? 3, make it easy to remember. A name that rolls off the tongue is so much easier for customers to remember and want to come back to, or remember to come back to, or if they just want to share it with a friend. Right? Now, if you're completely lost, I use tools like Namelix. I use tools like ChatGPT to generate very solid brand names. Now, what you can do with ChatGPT is you can ask it to come up with brand names for your product. Just keep it broad and brandable. You could literally just copy and paste what I said. So here's an example. Let's say that you want to sell pet supplies. Now, instead of naming your store the Dog Supplies Pro, whatever, you could go with something a lot broader that sounds a lot better, like Paw Palace or Creature Comfort. You see? Now, these names, they still feel pet focused, but they allow you to add things like cat toys, bird feeders, or even pet tech gadgets later down the road. It doesn't honestly matter. You can add pretty much anything that's related to pets. So the idea is to future-proof your store so that you're not stuck when your niche evolves or if your first product doesn't end up working out. Because honestly, most of the time, your product isn't going to work off the first rip. All right, you've got your store name. Now it's time to focus on the next crucial step, and that is building an online business where people can actually buy your products. Because you can have the most revolutionary product in the world, but if people have no place to purchase that product, then there's really no use. You're not going to make any money. Now, when it comes to selling online, you have a few options here. You have marketplaces like Amazon, Etsy, really good because they have that built-in traffic, but at the same time, you are limited by their templates and their exact rules, right? I personally use Shopify for all my stores because I think it gives you the most control over your store's design and also customer service, all the settings, backend. There's so much to work with. Now, I'm going to show you how to set up a professional store in just a few minutes using a free AI store builder. We're going to be using Shopify. If you don't want to use Shopify, then just skip ahead. That's totally fine. Now, I also do want to preface that if you prefer to build your store from scratch and you don't want to use a AI store builder, that is fine too. If you know how to code and you know how to, you're a developer or whatever, then by all means. I personally don't like to do it. I don't know how to do it and I don't have the time to do it. So I just think this is the fastest way to go about doing it, especially if you're starting from scratch and have no experience. All right, so all we got to do is set this up. Simply go to any one of my videos. I'll just go to the most recent video. Certainly the one that you're watching right now, it's going to be the first link and it's going to be build your store. Here, we're going to go with build my free store. And then just going to put in your name, your email, and a password. And then I'm going to go sign up. All right, so all you got to do is put a name, email, and a password. I'm going to go sign up. And then from here, obviously you can choose a niche that corresponds with whatever you plan to sell. So for the sake of this example, I'm just going to do pets. So whatever you plan to sell, you can choose that. If you don't know what you're going to sell yet, just press I'm not sure. I'm just going to do these random placeholder background images. Now, doesn't matter as well with what you're adding here. As I said, placeholders, you can change them later down the road. And then I'm going to go with access Shopify. And here we're just going to use that same email that we just signed up with to input here into Shopify because we have to create an account. All right, start free trial, same password. I'd recommend using the same password so it just is easier for you. All right, cool. Now we're gonna go back to the builder. We're gonna say that we did that, so done. And then from here, we're just gonna go back. We're gonna copy this URL at the top, and then we're gonna paste it back into the builder so that it knows what store we have. We're gonna go done. And then we're gonna go back to Shopify. We're just going to pay the $1 for 3 months. Really good deal. When I was starting, it was $30 a month. Now it's like $1 per month for 3 months. Like someone calculate the amount per day. Like it's pennies. Okay. All right. Subscribe. So it's going to be free for the first 3 days. And then after that, it's going to be $1 a month for 3 months. All right, cool. So now we're going to go back to the builder, say we did that, done. And then we're going to install the app. It's going to direct us here, install, customize store. And now it's going to start building our store with AI minutes. All right, we don't really need the top products right now, but then we're going to go access Shopify to publish the store. And then in order to publish the store, we have to remove the password. So let's just do that. First, we got to add an address. All right, so we got that good. Now we can remove the password. All right, go back to the builder. That's done. And then access my store. So we're going to go back, and here is the store. So as you can see from here, actually, let's just take a look at it on Shopify itself so I can show you how to go about customizing it. So we just go to customize, first online store, then customize. And this is what the store looks like for now. You can see it looks really clean. This is the background image that we chose. This was the other one that we chose. And remember, these are all placeholders. Like we don't have to use these, which is cool. But the overall structure of the store is what you want. Like this looks really good off the bat for something that we clicked a few buttons and it was done. Less than 2 minutes, guys. And we have something that's already presentable. Now, what I do want to say for the catalog, there's going to be preloaded products on here. I actually don't recommend you guys sell these products if this is the niche that you plan to sell within. Don't sell these products, or any niche that you choose, don't sell these products. I recommend using the strategy that we mentioned earlier. That's how we're going to go about finding our products and adding them onto here. I'm going to show you how to add them onto this store in a second. But main thing is that the structure, the overall flow looks really good. The color schemes are great. And then at the bottom, if you look, we have all the policy pages preset. Like we don't have to do anything, which is really nice, right? It's pretty much all good. Now, keep in mind, when you are editing, try and edit within mobile because 90+% of your viewers are going to be on their phones, right? So this is how you want to optimize for. And you can see like it's really nice and it's really easy to edit this. Like I can turn this off. I don't want it. I can turn it on, add new sections, add section right here, add a slide. So you can change it however you would like. But the main thing is like it's already good to go. Just work off of this template. Okay, now let's just say I want to add a product onto here. So what I recommend doing is setting up a fulfillment service that's going to allow you to import the SKUs from wherever you plan to source your products from. I'm just going to use the example. Let's just say we're going to use AliExpress. So let's just go to apps. Actually, it'd probably be easier. Just scroll down to the same video, the one that you're watching. I'll leave a link for ODS. And then from here, just get started. And we're going to use the same credentials that we just signed up with Shopify with right here. All right. Join now. All right. And then we're going to go Shopify because that's what we're using. And then for the packages, it really doesn't matter too much in the beginning. It's just kind of contingent on how many products you plan to import for the most part. These are all the same. I'm just going to go with the most basic one right here, the most preferred one. And then I'm also going to set up PayPal. It's literally going to be 99 cents. Okay, nice. So here is the ODS dashboard. Now, as you can see, we have our store that is linked up. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to change the product. So the products that I showed you right here, we really don't want to be using because one, a lot of people are going to be seeing these other products, which kind of defeats the purpose of selling a unique product. And then two, they're just kind of honestly like saturated products. So what I would recommend doing is, let's just say you found a really cool product that you want to sell. Let's just say you're like, I'm all in on crochet kits. This is what I want to sell. So you just simply have to take this listing, copy the URL, and then we're going to go to AutoDS, add product, add single products, and just paste the link, edit now. And then here you can choose what you want to import into your store now. or you can just do it later. I think it's easier to just do it later and just get it in there now. So I'll just save and import, and then it's going to start doing its job. All right, so as you can see, it is currently importing. Now we'll view the details. Looks like it has been completed. That was pretty quick. So we'll just refresh here and see if it is populated. And where is it? I'm not seeing it. Let me try another refresh. Oh, there it is. I missed it. So kids beginner crochet kit right here. So now you have it on your store. So what this means is that like let's say you want to sell this product, anytime you get an order, now the SKUs are linked up to this AliExpress supplier if you want to sell from this supplier. So it's just really easy. The importing process it's streamlined essentially. So let's say you get an order. Now you just go to your orders dashboard right here. You buy a few credits, you place that order, and then AutoDS is going to automatically fulfill the order for you. And then it's going to give the customer tracking update. So it just makes your life a lot easier. But main thing is that we have our store good to go just like that. Now, if I wanted to change anything right here, you can change all the descriptions, change the title, change the images, change the pricing. You have a bunch of customizations options. That's why I like to use Shopify. And you have like your .com domain as well. And you have your own online presence. All right, so now that you've got your store set up, let me share something that most people don't think about until it ends up being too late, and it actually costs them thousands of dollars in lost revenue. See, everyone's focused on finding products and getting sales, which, that's great, but no one really talks about what I call the good problems. So what the good problems are, these are challenges that only show up when you're actually succeeding. And one of the biggest ones is chargebacks. And chargebacks can literally kill your profit margins overnight. And if you don't handle them right away, you could get your entire store shut down. And I want to give you a quick story. And that's when I was scaling one of my stores, I was doing really well, making multiple thousands of dollars per day. Everything seemed perfect. Then out of nowhere, customers started going straight to their banks, filing disputes, claiming that they never authorized charges, or even claiming fraud. Now, the craziest part was that even with solid proof, tracking numbers, delivery confirmation, everything, we were still losing these disputes. And because these banks, what they do is they give you this tiny little window to respond with evidence in the exact format, the exact right format that you need. And they almost always end up siding with the buyer, which is ridiculous, but that is generally just how it is. Now, after losing thousands figuring this out, I've tested two main approaches. The first option is working with a VA, which is a virtual assistant. Now, what you can do is you can find really solid VAs on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork. Let me just show you right now. Fiverr, Upwork. I personally think Online Jobs is the best one, but you literally just go VA on Fiverr, Upwork, Online Jobs, PH as well. Virtual assistant, that's what you're looking for. So this works really well because you want someone that's dedicated to handling disputes, because realistically, you don't want to be the one that's responding to all the dispute cases. It's just not going to be a good use of your time. I think you should work on more of the conceptual tasks instead of these tasks that will take you a lot of time. So just hire it out, outsource it to someone that can do it for you at a fraction of price, like $5 an hour, right? You're generally going to find really good talent from $4 to $6 an hour, as long as you're outsourcing in the Philippines, Pakistan, India, South America. Just try and take note of the English proficiency. But if you do decide to hire a VA, I just want you to remember that you are going to need the following. 1, time for training and setup. 2, clear templates and SOPs for them to follow. SOPs are just standard operating procedures, basic instructions. To consider the time zone difference for response times, because remember I mentioned that you're probably going to be outsourcing from India, Pakistan, South America, Philippines. You're not going to be on the same time zone as them unless you live in those locations. Then you're going to need to factor in the ongoing cost, which isn't going to be much, but the VAs will usually run you anywhere from, as I mentioned, like $4 to $8 an hour, as long as you are hiring within those countries. The second option is what I use. I just think it's a lot easier. Don't really have to do much, maybe because I'm lazy. It's called ChargeFlow. So what ChargeFlow does is that it does everything for you. You literally just set up the account, you input your information, and here's the dashboard, and you have, a list of the active disputes, the evidence submitted, anything that's under review, the disputes recovered, and then anything that's been created, the intentional fraud, win rate. So you have all your analytics here. So all you have to do is integrate your integration. So payment processors, platforms, banks that you're using, and then that's pretty much it. And then the AI is basically going to handle all the responses for you, which is really nice. And then you'll have the dashboard where it showcases like your disputes, anything that's been disputed, anything that's won. And the only way that they make money is they just charge you a certain percentage of what they have already won. So you can just set this up in your store, not have to worry about it. And any chargeback that comes up, they're going to respond to it. They're going to submit the correct information. They know what to submit. So the win rate is going to be a lot higher using something like this. And yeah, as I mentioned, it's kind of a no-brainer. You don't pay anything unless they make you money back. So up to you. If you want to hire a VA and go through all the training, that's totally fine as well, and just have someone on the side. Or if you just want to make your life easier and not have to worry about much, you can just integrate with ChargeFlow. So now that you've got your store protected and ready to scale, let's talk about actually getting products to your customers, because even with the best systems in place, none of it's going to matter if you can't deliver quality products on time. Now, what I assume is that most of you guys that are watching are just starting out. So what I'm going to quickly do is just show you how to source products on AutoDS and how to sort for faster, more reliable shipping times. So what you can do is just go here to the marketplace, ships to, let's just do US currency, ships from, you could even say the US, so it might be faster shipping times. And then you can play around with your price range. So 15 to 30. And then for suppliers, this is where you can choose the AutoDS suppliers, the ones that are verified. You can also use the other ones that are here. But let's just say, Wayfair, I just bought something from there yesterday. That's funny. AutoDS suppliers. And from here, you can see that now you have the suppliers that are going to get you US shipping times 4 to 6 days, and they're all their trusted suppliers. Now, keep in mind, not every product is going to be on here. So that being said, it's oftentimes better to actually get direct connections with your actual supplier, because the products are going to be limited, and most of the products that are on here that are going to get the fast shipping times will probably be products that are most of the time saturated. So what I tell everyone is that yes, use tools like AutoDS or any other fulfillment platform that you're most comfortable with when you are testing products. But once you find something that does in fact work, take the time to build those real supplier relationships, because when you find a supplier who actually gets your vision and wants to help you grow, that is when things really start to take off. Then after that, it's really just getting connected with the manufacturers themselves, which is, a whole nother video that I'll work on for you guys. But for now, let's just not get into that. But here's the thing, having great suppliers, that is actually only half the battle won. You do in fact need to get people to your store to buy these products. So let me show you exactly what's working right now in 2025 when it comes to marketing. So the thing is, the game has completely changed from even just a year ago with marketing. It's all about making content that does not feel like a salesy ad, like actual content that people want to watch and share. Now, here are two methods that are actually crushing right now. One that is completely free and one that is going to speed up the whole process for you. So let's start with the free method, because honestly, this is how I first started and it still works insanely well right now. So here's exactly how to do this. First, you need to find content that's already working within your niche. Say that you're selling fitness products, whatever. Look for fitness accounts that are getting tons of views and engagement on their reels or TikToks. So the strategy is pretty straightforward. You find viral reels of similar products, you download them using something like Snap Insta or SSTick, depending on which platform that you use. And then you want to use CapCut, it's free, to edit them in your own style. So you want to create these mini variations of those already existing viral videos. So then post them consistently on your Instagram Reels, and then you can go ahead and cross post to TikTok if you want. Quick note, as I mentioned earlier, with TikTok, while it's still working well right now, with all the uncertainty around, the potential bans, I'd recommend focusing mainly on Instagram. That way you're building on a platform that's definitely going to be around. And when you're posting these reels, here are hooks that I see consistently getting view. First one, problem solution format. So things like, tired of X, watch this. 2, shocking stats. So did you know like 93% of people direct showcase, this product is insane. So the key is posting 1 to 2 reels every single day for at least 3 weeks, and you want to space them out by anywhere from 4 to 5 hours so that you're hitting different audiences. But most people end up posting maybe 2 to 3 times for like a week and then give up when they don't go viral instantly. And I can't stress this enough, you need to be consistent if you plan to use this strategy. So if you plan to go in with no money and run no paid ads, you got to be consistent. There's going to be a trade-off, right? If you want to run paid ads, then it's a different story, and it's another video that I'm going to have to go over in greater detail. Now, if you don't want to spend the time downloading and editing videos, or you want to scale faster, that's where option 2 comes in, which is using a video editing service. So the one that I like to use is Viral Ecom Ads. So what they do is they basically handle all the content creation and the ideation for you, and it's pretty simple. So all you have to do is go and buy the package. From there, you're going to complete a submission form that's going to consist of your AliExpress link. So if you're selling this product, you're just going to copy the AliExpress link. And then from there, you give any directions with the angles, with however you want the editing style to be, or you can just have them come up with it all for you. And then it's going to come within a certain period of time. It usually takes a few days, but if you have the VIP members, then it's only in 24 hours. And if you also have the VIP members, it's only $15. So it's kind of worth it if you guys plan to get multiple creatives to get the VIP members. But it's pretty simple. And then they handle all the ideation for you. If you want to use their creators, that's totally fine too. But this is pretty straightforward if you plan to do any media buying, running ads on TikTok, running ads on Facebook. So you want to be testing multiple angles, whether you're doing this yourself or you're using a video editing service. You want to test at least 3 to 5 different hooks for each product. So for example, let's just say that you're selling this crochet product right here. So you want to have various options. So let's just say you plan to sell this crochet product. What I would recommend doing is try and find a main competitor that is doing really well and study their ad library. The ad library is essentially a database of all the active ads from this company. Now, if you can see all the ads that they're spending money on, that's going to be a good indication that they're actually making money there, right? So we can go ahead and study the various hooks that they use. So let's watch this one.
I have one flight to crochet a penguin. This is a Woobles kit, and I'm going to use it to see if I can crochet a penguin during my flight.
That's an immediate hook right there. What's the hook?
I have one flight to crochet a penguin.
I have one flight to crochet a penguin. That's a challenge type of hook. It's a very engaging type of hook. That's something that you don't really hear too often. So that's probably why they're running an ad on it and it did well for them. So what I would do is look at all these different videos
from craft disaster to
and see how they're going about marketing the product. Now, as I mentioned, if you can see that they're actually running ads and for how long they've been running ads, it's a good indication that that's probably what's working for them. Because if they're spending money on it, they're putting money behind it, then why else would you do it? But you kind of get the point. Like if the video is doing well organically, then it's probably going to do well when you put some ad spend behind it. So I wouldn't say that this is what this company does specifically, because they're such a massive company and they make like $500 million a year, and because they probably have, specific teams for specific tasks. Like they have an organic content strategy team and they have a paid content strategy team. So, most of the time that is what's going to work. And I wouldn't doubt that any viral video that they posted, they are in fact actually putting some money behind. All right, let me break down exactly what you need to do in your first week. Let me just sit up really quick. So I put together a super simple 7-day plan that'll take you from 0 to launch. And guys, definitely screenshot this or timestamp the video time, because this is your complete success roadmap. It's going to be broken down day by day with actionable steps that will make sure that you nail the launch. So day 1 is going to focus entirely on just getting your store live. So we're going to use that AI store builder that we talked about earlier. It's going to save you so much time. Quick tip though, don't get stuck overthinking colors, logos, the designs. Just get something out there. I see way too many people waste their first day just picking fonts. By the end of day 1, you just need a clean working store. Day 2 is all about your product strategy. This is when you're really locking in your first product and making contact with these suppliers. And look, I know it's very tempting to launch with like 10 different products, but trust me, start with one solid product and just do that one solid product right from the get-go. Now, by the end of day 2, you should have your main product loaded with proper pricing. Now, moving into day 3, we're building your brand presence. So get your very first piece of content created, test different hooks. Don't overthink your brand story here. You can evolve that over time. So just focus on getting your product photos, descriptions, and that first marketing piece ready to go. So day 4 is when we are setting up our key systems. So order and payment processing, customer service. Make sure that you've got all your automated emails working properly. Test everything yourself because you want to catch any issues before your customers end up catching those issues. So on day 5, you are setting up your traffic strategy. So get that first marketing campaign ready to launch. But here is a mistake I see all the time, and that's people blow through their entire budget on one single day. So if they got $500 to spend for testing this product, they run a $500 a day campaign. Don't do that. So if you have $500, or let's say you have $350 to invest, spread that out 7 days of testing, $50 per day budget. Then make sure your analytics are tracking properly and have your first ad creative ready to go. Day 6 is all about that final check. So test literally everything, to do a complete test purchase yourself. Day 6 is all about that final check. So test literally everything, do a complete test purchase yourself. And guys, check that mobile experience. Most of your sales are going to come from people on their phone. So make sure that everything works perfectly. They're on the phone. And then finally, day 7 is going to be the launch day. So turn your campaign on, go live. Don't panic if you don't see any sales instantly. That is completely and totally normal. The goal here is to start collecting real customer feedback and data so that you can optimize later down the road. Remember, perfect is the enemy of done. I see way too many people never launch because they're trying to make everything absolutely and utterly perfect. Just get it live and start learning from your real customers. You can always improve things once you start getting that actual feedback. Now, briefly, because I think this will be valuable to you guys, I want to share 3 super important things that most people only learn after losing thousands and thousands of dollars. At least that was in my case when I was first starting. First up, do not get caught up in the price game. Build something that people actually trust instead of trying to compete on having the absolute lowest price. Second, always test everything yourself. Like, actually go through the entire store as a customer. Look through the customer's lens. So as I mentioned, making that test purchase, it's way better to catch these little issues before they become big, massive problems. And then start building your customer list from day 1. Trust me, this becomes one of your most valuable assets as you start to scale. So if this helped you out, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps more people find this type of info that really need it. Also, drop a comment letting me know what kind of store that you're planning to build. I'm pretty curious. I read through all the comments and I do try and help where I can. And if you want to go deeper with this, I'll put together all the resources and tools that we covered. Everything's going to be linked in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.